Hey, shalom. Welcome back. Today we'll be continuing our Listen and Learn series in the book of Judges. This is our focus on auditory learning for immersive biblical Hebrew learning as we continue to work through the book of Judges. That's Shoftim in the original Hebrew. For those of you who are visual learners and just can't stand to do it auditorily, you'll note I have colorized everything for you, so feel free to do it that way. I would suggest that at some point in time in the class, if you feel like you're understanding almost everything, then try to close your eyes or just not look. If you're driving, maybe look at the road and see if you can understand through hearing. Because really, this is kind of our auditory learning awareness day on Mondays, even though I'm trying to make the class for both types. I won't be writing on the screen or zooming or moving it around so that you're not kind of forced into a visual sort of thing. All right. Today, the focus is really on auditory. But if you do need to see, you'll notice I have a key on the lower left where I show that a glowing green means it's conversive. It's like converting the aspect. You can think of it as changing the time if you like for now. The blue is the person of the verb, like he, she, they, I, we, etc. A hunter green is a conjunction, like ve and. Aqua, or a blue box, kind of looks like a painted sort of thing. That's the construct state, meaning of. Orange is the preposition. Red expresses definiteness, like the Baalim. Yellow tells you it's a pronoun, and gray is for proper nouns. I just wrote a name to kind of keep it simple. All right? All right, let me just say a real quick bracha. Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avraham, Velohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Gam Eloheinu. כן יהי רצון כי תמלא את פי בדבריך, כי אני יכול לדבר רק כי אתה רוצה. וגם, אבא, תשלח נא ברכות משמיים ממעל על כל שומעי את קולי עכשיו. לא לנו ולך תמיד יהיה לך. בזכות ישוע HaMashiach. All right, let's get started. So I'm just going to scan it at first. And again, I'm not going to be doing any visual indicators. I just don't want to tempt you to feel like you have to watch. Maybe I'll do a laser pointer every once in a while for those who just opt. There are some very hardcore visual learners who really do not appreciate being forced to listen only. So, but try not to be dependent on that. Okay, today it says, "Vaya'asu v'nei Yisrael et hara בעיני Adonai, וישכחו את אדוני אלוהיהם, ויעבדו את הבעלים ואת האשרות." Okay. All right. Another time, through this time using our auditory clues. ויעשו בני ישראל את הרע בעיני אדוני, וישכחו את אדוני אלוהיהם, ויעבדו. The verb is יעבד את הבעלים ואת האשרות. All right, now let's pick it apart. Now I'm not going to do any visual cues anymore, right? Just on the full verse readings, maybe. So this is the book of Judges, chapter 3, verse 7. Va'yasu. So the verb is rasa, ayin, sin, hey, rasa, which is to do or to make. And we have a prefix, yo, at the beginning. When you hear that yo attached to a verb, it's telling you this is third person. So it's either going to be third person masculine, singular, or third person masculine, plural, sometimes called the common plural form. And when we get to the end of the verb, we have an oo, so it is indeed, we know that it is indeed plural. So ya'asu means they are doing or they will do. But then the beginning of the word we have a vav conversive. Da 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 da. That's going to change that aspect so that instead of they will do or they are doing, it's going to make it perfect instead of imperfect. So instead of an incompleted action, it's completed. So va ya asu is and they did. And they did. They rasad. The subject is V'nei Yisrael. So it's a construct from banim. Banim, children. Drop the mem, becomes b'nei. In this case, v'nei because of the u right in front of it. So v'nei, children of Yisrael. Now that's a name. Because the last word's a name, we're going to say the on the preceding word. So the v'nei Yisrael, the children of Israel. So, but the children of Israel did et aleph tav, we don't translate. Hara, hara, the ra, resh, ayin. And if you don't remember the word ra, one little mnemonic I have for you is that one of the Egyptian gods has this name. It's even with an ayin in Egyptian, the R sound and an ayin, kind of amazing. Ra, although some Egyptologists now think it was re. Either way, there's still an ayin there. So this is the name of the sun god in Egypt, right? The sun. They thought that was a god. So it's kind of interesting. If you think about it, our ancestors, the Hebrews, said that their god's name means evil. Ra means evil in Hebrew. You worship Ra? You worship evil? Anyway, Ha Ra is the evil. So something literally the Hebrew says, so Vaya'asu v'nei Israel et ha-ra. It means but or then the children of Israel did the evil. In English it comes across more like that which was evil, right? Or just did evil, acted evilly perhaps, behaved evilly. Continuing on. Be, Inei Adonai. Be, that's a bait. Be, Inei Adonai. In, bait is in. Inei, ayin, yod, nun. From ayin. Ayin means eye. Einayim means eyes. And remember, when you have a plural or a dual ending with a mem like that, and you delete the mem, that's how you say of. We're putting in the construct state if you care about the grammatical term. So be in einay, eyes of yod he waw he. That's Adonai, the tetragrammaton. Yod he waw he. So in the eyes of Adonai. You could translate that in Adonai's sight. Vayishk. So the verb is shakach, shin, kaf, chet, which is to forget, to forget. And just like the previous verb, the vayasu, here we have vayishkech. So they shakacht, and they shakacht et Adonai. They forgot Hashem. Elohehem. So again, Elohim is God. Drop the mem to put it in construct. Elohe is God of. Just like tonight, I don't know if you caught it when I was saying the opening prayer / blessing. I referred to Hashem as Elohe Avraham, Velohe Yitzchak, Velohe Yaakov, the God of Abraham, the God of Jacob, pardon me, Isaac, and the God of Jacob. All right, so in this case, Elohe is the God of Ham, Hey, Mem, the God of them. So that sounds weird in English to say the God of them, kind of wordy, right? So we just say their God. Next word, yo av d u. So the verb is avad, ayin, beit, dalet. Avad, ayin, beit, dalet, which is to serve, with the idea of worship. This is the quintessential word for worship in Hebrew, which is a really useful lesson if none of you have heard my teachings on this, that in the Hebraic mindset, the whole idea of worship is not connected to just like singing, for example, right? Or prostrating down or dancing. Those are indeed modes of worship, but the greater all encompassing word is avad, ayin, beit, dalit, in that we worship God when we serve him with our lives. When you're closing your eyes to not look at something evil, right? To not let evil go into your heart, into your mind. When you're reciting a blessing for something you've received, whether it be food or a beautiful sight like a rainbow or seeing an interesting animal or a beautiful person or whatever, or when you were healed from a horrible illness and you have the right attitude about this and you bless Hashem, or you're just getting dressed in the morning and you're putting on tzitziot, or you're for those of you who wear yarmulke, you're putting on a yarmulke, whatever the case may be, that is worship. All those that when you affix a mezuzah to your doorposts that have the the cloth inside with the commands in the Hebrew that mention putting the mezuzah on, when you nail it to your house, that is worship. Serving the Lord equals worship in the deepest Hebrew sense of the word. So, avad, it does mean serve here. But when we say vaya u, and they served at ha-Baalim, the Baalim, the Baals, that of course means the understanding is worship. They worship them. By doing things that the Baalim wanted for them, that is true worship. Okay? It's nice to sing songs, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that can be a beautiful way to connect with Hamakom, the ever-present God. But it's just one little mode, like the icing on the cake. He cares much more about our day-to-day obedience than he does about our sacrifices. All right, continue on. So, vaya'avedu, or vaya'avedu, and they served at, I'm sorry, I don't know why I accidentally marked that as a construct. It should have been read like the other ones, okay? I was going to correct it, but it's kind of hard with my current setup. So my apologies. All the ets should be read, all right? That's not a construct, it's a read. So they served et, so that's definite, so it should be read. But this is auditory learning tonight anyway. Ha, the be'alim, the be'alim. The et, vav is a conjunction there, and et, we don't translate, ha, the asherot, aleph, shin, resh, ot, asherot. So the asherot, these are like poles from a tree, although sometimes an intact tree itself. That was part of cultic worship of Asherah, or Asheroth in Ugaritic. She was the mother of Baal, right? The mother of Baal. And the father of Baal, the husband of Asherah in this false religion, was a god named Elu, or depending on dialect, sometimes just called El. El. You can see how the enemy tried to pervert things in order to trick our ancestors, right? Oh, you worship El? So do we. You can see how that could happen. Okay, I'm going to read through this again. Vayo Ratsu. Vayo Ratsu. V'nei Yisrael. But the children of Israel, they Ratzad, they did et hara, the evil, be'inei yodhe wowhe. Be, in the inei, that's the inayim of yodhe wowhe. Vai yi shk u, vai yi shk u, and they shakacht, they forgot, shin kaf chet, et yod he, waw he, Hashem, Eloheihem, the God of them, their God. Vayo David U. Vayo David U. And they, Avad, they served or they worshipped et ha-Be'alim. Ha, the Be'alim, the Baals. Ve'et, and ha, Asherot. And ha, the Asherot. Asherot, Aleph, Shin, Resh, Vav, Tav. Okay, how'd you do? Getting it all right? So I'm going to do something. I'm going to read through one more time. And then this will be like the end of, like, say, part 1. Okay? So it'll be the end of verse 7. And then check, look, there'll be a follow-on premiere right afterwards if you're doing this live with us in the premieres, which will be verse 8. All right? That's not all we have for today. Okay? Just experimenting with it. Just seeing how this will work for people. Okay? All right, here we go. Verse 7. Yeah, I also need to charge my tab. Vaya asu v'nei Yisrael. But the children of Israel served, pardon me, they did, et hara be'inei Adonai. They did hara, the evil, in the eyes of Adonai. Vayishkechu, and they shakacht, they forgot, et Adonai Eloheihem, Hashem, their God. Vaya'avdu et ha-Be'alim, and they served the Be'alim, ve'et, and ha-Asherot, the Asherot. One more time. Vaya'asu v'nei Yisrael et hara be'inei Adonai. Vayishkechu et Adonai Eloheihem. Vaya'avdu et ha-Be'alim ve'et ha-Asherot. Last time. Vaya'asu v'nei Yisrael et hara be'inei Adonai. Vayishkechu et Adonai Eloheihem. Vaya'avdu et ha-Be'alim ve'et ha-Asherot. Okay, so stick with us. We're going to continue to part 2. I try to make this into more of a bite-sized chunk for those who might just want to do 15 minutes or so. And catch us on the next one coming up. Or if you just check the video, I'll have it as the suggested next video if you're watching this after the premieres.